हेलो एवरीवन, आज हमारे साथ है कनिका सक्सेना जो कि वुमेंस के लिए स्पेशली उन औरतों के लिए जो कि अपने काम के साथ साथ अपनी फैमिली और अपने बच्चों को भी संभालते हैं, उनके लिए बहुत ही बड़ा एग्जाम्पल है क्योंकि शी वॉज ऑल्सो वर्किंग इन अ टॉप ऑर्गेनाइजेशन जब उन्हें 1996 में अपनी जॉब को छोड़ना पड़ा आफ्टर बर्थ ऑफ हर फर्स्ट सन। बट कहानी यहीं ख़त्म नहीं हुई क्योंकि अपने बच्चों की बेसिक रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज़ को हैंडल करने के बाद उन्होंने 2016 में फिर से अपने करियर को स्टार्ट किया और विद इन 2 months ऑफ स्टार्टिंग हर वर्क शी वॉज एबल टू बिकम डायमंड ऑथर ऑन ईजाइन आर्टिकल. नाउ she has started working on her own and she is coming up as an online coach for content writers. So let's talk to Kanika. So welcome to the channel और प्लीज एक्सपीरियंस हमारे साथ शेयर करें और हमें बताएं how it was for you starting and taking a break and then starting over again, being a woman and handling kids and doing all that stuff and still being a pro at all of these things. So just tell us and guide us for that.
Yeah, thanks Ankita, and a big thank you for inviting me here, and I will really like to share my experience. I hope others also benefit by listening to it. So yeah, I am basically an engineer. I completed my engineering in 1990. So I did my engineering in instrumentation technology. And after that, I started working immediately after passing out. My first job was that of a lecturer. And then I got into some good public sector companies. I worked for SAIL and then Macon. And after that, I got married and I got transferred to Bombay because my husband was there. My family, in fact, my in-laws were there in Bombay. So I was in Bombay working for Macon, and then what happened was I was working for a temporary project office, and after 1 year, the office, the project was over, so they transferred me to Delhi. So I could not leave the family, so I looked for another opportunity. Fortunately, I got it. So this was an instrumentation company based in Pune, but they had their marketing office in Bombay. So I was a marketing engineer for Forbes Marshall, and it was all going well. And then I had my first baby, and it so happened that I am a very ambitious career woman type, but when I held the baby in my hand, I just couldn't. Even my seniors advised me that once you quit, you will never be able to get back, but nothing worked. I just left my job without thinking anything. I was doing pretty well, but yeah, that was the choice I made. And I was at home with my child, and then I thought, that probably if I do my MBA till he grows up, I will be able to come back after he starts schooling or something. So then I started doing my MBA correspondence with IGNOU. And because I liked my last job a lot, I wanted to do it in marketing. But then I had my second child. So in 96, my son was born, and 99, my daughter was born. And but despite that, I continued with my studies and I kept giving my exams. I managed to complete my diploma in management. The next thing was PG diploma, but just before I could appear for my final exams, I had to move to Dubai because my husband got a job with Emirates Airlines. So then I was in Dubai for about 12 years. I did try to work over there, but somehow I couldn't. Again, I was very restless with the children being at home. I just couldn't focus on my job. So that's somehow not me. Maybe I'm not a multitasker, whatever. But what I do, I focus. So then after that, I was at home and focusing on my children. Luckily, they have done well, and both of them they were toppers in their classes. So after that, we decided to move back to India because I somehow believe that for graduation, India is better than any other country. So then again, they did well in their 10th and 12th, which they did from India. And then they got into good colleges. After my daughter joined her university in 2016, that's when I decided that I can do something, because both were in the hostel, and so they did not need me exactly. My physical presence was not required, and I didn't know what I could do because I was totally out of touch with my subject. And that is when I started practicing typing, and just to improve my speed. And I started looking for opportunities. I didn't know where I would fit in. I found this ad in the newspaper asking for a content writer. I had no clue what a content writer was. So I called up that number. I asked them. So they said, we need somebody who knows good English. You just have to write articles by researching on the net. So I thought, okay, this is something I can do. And but I told them clearly that my computer skills are zero. So he said, it doesn't matter. And they wanted me to come down for the interview, but that company happened to be very far from my place, so I dropped the idea. But at least I got a direction that, okay, content writing is something that I could try. And as luck would have it, I got into a good company in Mohali. And, it is really my good fortune that the company accepted me after a gap of 20 years. Nobody would want to risk. So they took me. And as I said, my computer skills were zero, but typing was okay. And the best part was that what I wrote, the clients liked. So that way I was doing well, and they were also patient with me so that I could pick up whatever was required on work in the computer. So yeah, slowly over time, with time, I learned a lot of things. And within since you are with digital marketing, you will have an idea about design articles. So I had an account on Design, and within 2 months I was given the Diamond Author badge. So yeah, the company started looking up to me. Everybody in the office, they thought I was a star. So yeah, that was good. And within 6 months, I was made the team lead. And at one stage, I had about 8 people reporting to me, 4 in the office, 4 freelancers when the work volume was high. But yeah, it was a good experience. And I have groomed freshers who had no clue what content writing was. And they have performed very well. And within 1 year of being a team lead, our team went on to win Team of the Year award in the company. So yeah, it was a very nice experience. I learned a lot. It was, the colleagues were very good, always helping me out. And after about, I think, 2.5 years, I developed some health issues, so I had to quit. But I was at home for some time, and then I started freelancing. And fortunately for me, freelancing also worked well. In fact, I started earning more than I was while working for the company.
Yeah.
And my company also, employed me as a freelancer.
Yeah.
So, you know that, right?
Yeah,
Sure,
I would agree with, because freelancing is kind of risky because you're not getting specific salary. So it is risky, and it doesn't actually work for everyone, because I've seen so many people trying freelancing and then going back to the job. So it is not something that actually works for everyone. But at the end of the day, there are some people who, especially if you're a team lead and if you're able to reach up to, or maybe climb up to the manager level, this is something you can easily do, because that is when you're definitely going to get more than what you get from a salary.
Yeah, so that's true. What you're saying is right, and that's so freelancing worked for me. It was all going well. I had a major client in the US who happened to be my classmate, and happens rather not happened. He happens to be my classmate. He is one of the top businessmen there. So I had a few projects. I was working with him, but unfortunately, due to COVID. Those they were, they put it on a pause, and they told me that they would get back to me if they needed it. So that's the reason I had some time on my hands now during the lockdown, and so I decided to do something that I've been postponing for a long time. I wrote my first book. So that was a very, very fulfilling experience, because this was the first time I was writing for myself under my name, because all this while I've been writing for clients.
Yeah.
So, and it was, like I was just speaking my heart out. So it was a very nice experience. And not only did I write the book, I did the editing, publishing, everything by myself. So it gave me a lot of confidence, that if you keep trying, there's no limit to what you can do. So
absolutely.
Yeah,
even I'm writing a book, and of course I'm gonna have you do the editing. Yeah, but I'm also writing a book, and I think COVID has given us some extra time, because just slightly different from the way we used to work. So and it just gave so many people so much time to actually explore and complete whatever was pending, and they always wanted to do.
Yeah, so I wrote my book, and I have also I'm just getting my website built, where I will be the website is called The Writing Right, and the website is for getting content related projects. And also I'm starting a training, because many people are of the opinion, if your English is good, you can become a content writer. But that it doesn't work that way. Content writing is a specific type of writing. It is basically, how well you use the keywords and how your content ranks. So because I have the experience, and I have groomed young writers, so I'm quite confident that I'll be able to do it. So quite looking forward to it. I'm planning to have online classes once things go through.
So tell us about, maybe if you can just give away some tips to anyone who's watching and who's trying to be a writer. Maybe 5 things that you would like them to know, so that they could also, grow as a writer, or maybe start as a writer.
Okay. As far as writing is concerned, first thing, the basic thing is that you have to be very good with your grammar. Okay, you have to be very sure. And but you also have tools that check your grammar. So but those tools are not exactly always giving you the right result, because they judge according to certain algorithms, but sometimes you may be right and the tool may be wrong. So you have to know what you're trying to convey, and even after testing using the tools, whether it is giving you the right result. So whether it's able, with the correction, whether you're able to convey what you want. So English, of course, is a fundamental requirement. You have to
maybe any language. So if someone's trying to be a French writer or Spanish writer, so basically they have to be very good with the writing rules and the grammar of that specific language.
Yeah, basics of that language. Then another thing that people feel while writing, you should use all fancy words and complicated words. But as far as content writing is concerned, it's not about fancy words. Your language should not be such that the reader needs to consult a dictionary every time he
I agree with that one. I just find this with the new writers who's just starting out, just to have this impression that they're very, good at the language. They actually search for these complicated terms and they use it in the content so that reader is not able to understand. But that really kills the reason for, because it really turns off whosoever is reading, and it doesn't really make sense to them, and they're not going to check every word in the dictionary. It's just going to be so much work, so it doesn't really good, it's not good for SEO and rankings and stuff.
Yeah, so you have to use simple language which everybody can understand. So whatever language you are writing in, it should be, again, no, people don't need to look up any dictionary or anything. They should be able to understand. Then another thing I would say about, okay, when you're doing optimized writing, it's all about keywords. It's how you use your keywords. It should not be stuff, just for the sake of putting keywords, you're putting it in the content. No, it should have it should fall in place. It should not be, as if you are just adding the keyword for no rhyme or reason. So that is an art. How you use the keyword is an art. And that's what I'm going to, teach the writers in my classes. One more thing about writing is, when you're writing, always build a story. There should be a logical flow. Even if you're pointing out, say benefits of something, uses of something, it should come in a flow. It should not be, you're just putting things and you don't have a kind of sequence, a kind of a story that you're building. So I'm not talking about, writing a story as such. What I mean is, there should be a logical flow in your content. That's when the content engages. That's when it becomes interesting to the readers. And they will not leave it in between. If it is disjointed, there's no connection between the previous paragraph and the next paragraph, nobody will be interested in reading. Maybe they read a part of it and they move on to some other site. But if you want to hold their interest, you make it like a story so that people, continue reading it. Yeah, so these are, I think, some of the tips that could help writers.
Yeah, so it was very helpful. Okay, so tell us more about, who inspires you the most, your role model. Tell us something more about that.
Okay. I would not exactly call her a role model, because a role model, I would say, is somebody you would try to emulate, you want to be like. But for me, I would say she's like a goddess. I can't be like her, but I get inspired by what she does. And that's Mrs. Sudha Murthy. I always look up to her because I think, for me, she's the ideal woman. Whatever she does, I get inspired. It is a pleasure listening to her and reading her books. So yeah, Sudha Murthy, I would say.
Awesome. So as you know, I'm also writing a book, and I will not reveal the title, but it's about entrepreneurship and just how entrepreneurs can have more power and how they can leverage the opportunities in the industry. So it's around that topic. So so what's your tips or maybe guides for someone who's trying to write a book?
Trying to write a book, okay, the first thing that you should do is, many times we think we'll write, and it has happened to me, unless you give yourself an end date, a deadline. Okay, this is my date, I'm going to complete it by then. You will never get down to completing it. When suppose you've given yourself, say, 30 days, after 15, 16 days, you feel you haven't done enough, then you suddenly, that pressure builds up and you will find time and you will try to complete it. So you give yourself a deadline here. The clients are not giving you deadlines. You have to set a date and do what it takes to reach and finish it by that date. So that is one very important tip. Another thing is that when you start writing out your book, as I said, there should be a flow, there should be a sequence. So you start thinking of the chapters, like the sequence in which how you want to build your story. So once you have your chapters in place, then you can just, put your matter according to the chapters. sometimes it happens, we think something, and when we get down to writing, it's something else that comes out. So it doesn't matter, as long as you have a sort of skeleton in place, you can always adjust the other things later. And always keep reading. Each time you complete a little bit, keep reading and checking if you are okay with the content, because it happened in my case. I had completed about 5,000 words of my book, and then every time I read it, I found a lot of things which were unnecessary. So it took me quite some time to move beyond 5,000 words, because I kept editing and changing, and I was stuck there.
Yeah.
So
we don't want to drag stuff as well, because sometimes what people do is they drag things a lot and they repeat the same stuff in different language, and that really puts off the readers, and it just becomes hard to complete the book, or maybe you're just bored and you just
that's true. You should not keep on stressing the same point. You speak about it in a particular chapter, move on to something else in the next chapter. And like if you have a job and you have a lot of things to be done, it becomes a little difficult to take out time for writing. But for that, what you can do, every day you keep a certain number of hours. Like 2 hours I have to focus on my book, or 1 hour, whatever time you can spare. So as a routine, irrespective of what you have on, what work you have on hand, this time, say 3 o'clock to 4 o'clock in the afternoon is my time to write my book. So if you fix that time for yourself, then you will find that your book is moving. You will not leave it in between, and so this is what I have.
Yeah, and you may end up changing the mind as well, I guess, sometimes. All right. So, what's your message for my audience who's listening to this interview?
We come across several challenges in life. Right now, we are all facing the pandemic. It's very difficult times. Yeah. Many people have lost jobs, and as you just said, that businesses are suffering. Yes, it is the truth. But then, this is something that none of us were prepared for, and nothing we can do about it. We have to just wait and watch and just hope that the vaccine is found fast. But you should always think that time is the most precious thing. Irrespective of whether you have a job today or not, this is the time that you can focus on yourself, build yourself up, learn some new skills. There are a lot of online courses available. So, pick up anything that appeals to you, that you are passionate about. Develop your skills, because if things continue, like hopefully COVID will not be there, but it looks like remote working will be something that is going to become a sort of permanent.
It's been in the industry, and it's allowing so much freedom to whoever is working online, because you can travel, you can be with your kids. Like you said, you had to leave your job, but it's not something that people have to do now, because they can keep working. Because I got married last month, and I honestly I haven't been going to the office, because there's so much that I have to adjust and just my schedule, because there's extra responsibilities. But this freedom of being able to work from anywhere has allowed me to just adapt, and none of my work is getting suffered. Even my channel and the content uploading, nothing gets suffered. So I think this is a very good opportunity that we have now, because people before us didn't have this opportunity, and they were supposed to be sitting on a specific place for the full day, but we can be laying on our bed literally and then typing because there's just so much flexibility that we have today. So yes, I would agree to that, and I think
one more thing, Ankita, one more thing. So one is time. You should never waste your time. Do whatever you can to develop yourself. And second thing, keep learning. I mean, the more you learn, the better you become. And there are so many things to be learned from each and every, from the environment around you, any skill you want to develop. Each day brings in new lessons. It's only up to you to find those lessons and learn from them. So yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Totally. I agree with that. So yeah, it was nice chatting with you, and I think there's so much that we have learned today, as far as content writing and writing books and general life, and especially for women. I think you are a very good inspiration for so many women to think, because I have so many friends, and what they did is, after doing so much education, they're just highly educated. They've got so good marks. I was an average student, I would say, even below average at some points in some I would say subjects. But I think people just give up, and they have so much potential, but they just give up for some reason, and I just don't get it, because they pushed down with the society, especially girls. I'm talking about mainly girls who just whole of their education, they're not using it. It's just so much highly qualified for even the jobs they're in, and they've really good degrees, but they're not in the position where they and making any use of it, or they're just sitting at home and not doing anything, because it's not the time that you have to be at home and then not do anything, because you can still work. And so yeah, my channel is all about online business. And guys, if you are trying to get online and do any kind of business online, so yes, you can be a content writer, and it's a very good business and very good job profile to be in. And the reason is because you get really good pay. I mean, it's a good paying job, and because I've seen people who've done MA in English, and they wouldn't try content writing, and they're going for data entry. And I'm like, why would you go for data entry? Because people who don't, I'm not trying to degrade anyone here, but just use your skills and use your education, what you and just learn and just push harder, learn even more, not try to use less of your energy just so that you don't want to use it.
Yeah, I think you're right. You should realize your potential, what you're capable of, and do justice to it, not just work for the sake of working, but do what you're capable of. So
yeah, and I would agree with you. So it was nice talking to you, and hopefully we will have your book linked in the description. So we will have Kanika's book linked in the description, so you can go in and check out the book and let us know with your feedback. And you can also check out her website, and there you can learn how you can be a good content writer. So she's got so much to teach you, and this is a really high paying profession, and there is a requirement for content writers every time. Like even it's very rare that you have writers, like good quality writers, not something anyone is good with. So even if there's so many writers in every company, but not all of them are good, you always have to have someone proofreading the content, because not all of them are good. So it's a really good skill to learn. So yeah, let us know in comments how you feel about this interview, and comment and send us any questions that you have. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and share with your friends.
Thank you, Ankita. It was a pleasure. Thanks.
Thank you so much.